Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Study Lounge with ValleyNoble. I'm your host this morning, Sylvs or Sylvia Rehana, and today we are interviewing another of our intern students from Brigham Young University in Hawaii. So I'm going to let him jump in and introduce himself. So morena and kei te pēhea koe.
All right. So my name is Esmond, and I'm from Hong Kong. And I'm currently majoring in marketing, supply chain, business management. And I'm a junior right now. I've studied here for like about 2 years. I guess what I usually like to do, it's like I really like sports, movies, music. Yeah, right now I'm 23, and I still try to figure out my future. Got some plans, but that's not good enough. Haven't thought about what's gonna be my future after graduation, and that's pretty much about me. That's good.
Well, thank you very much, Esmond. It was nice to drop that little morena and kei te pēhea koe this morning. So, Esmond completed a 2 year mission back in my home country, New Zealand, Aotearoa, and learned a bit of the language there. So, it's really nice to have you on board, Esmond. And how's your day been?
Well, it's been pretty challenging. It's always hard to wake up as a college student. You have a lot of things to worry about. Well, like last night, I was working till midnight, and then yeah, and it's like my part time, and
Yes.
then also I have to work on my assignments after that, and wake up like 8ish and prepare for the class, and
Wow.
then right now I just finish back the class and run back in to the meeting right now, but it's all good. I guess that's life. Like life is challenging, but you just have to accept it.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for being able to fit us into your busy schedule. So, you said you work to midnight. What kind of job do you do there at BYU?
I'm currently working in library media services, so mainly it's like helping people, especially professors, to deal with their technical issues like
Okay.
projectors or some equipment like electronic equipment, or sometimes we have to like work on like laptops and clean up. I mean, to be able to always manage to like equipment inventory stuff like that.
Awesome. That's a neat job. A busy job, I bet. Yeah.
Well, I would say it depends on your shift. If it's like afternoon shift, it's probably more, you got more free time.
Mhm.
Like, but like if it's like night shift, there will be a lot of students like try
Yes.
to like get the equipment from the media services. So it really depends on shift that you work.
Nice, nice. Well, good on you. That's awesome. So, we're going to jump in here now and start with our interview. So, thanks again for joining us. And for those of you out there joining our recording here, this is a great opportunity that ValleyNoble has had to work with our students here at Brigham Young University. And so, we're pretty grateful to have some expertise from the students as well, because there's a lot of things that we've had a couple of meetings before, and there's a lot of great ideas and great insight from like international students as well as those working in the field of business, and we have here business marketing, so they have been really helpful in getting us going as well. So, our jumping into our interview, thanks again. So, Esmond, what factors led you to consider BYU as, I guess, a study in destination?
Well, I actually have considered a lot before I enrolled to school. Like I was planning to go on a mission because my first semester here was 2019. Then I gone on a mission after that very first semester back in 2019, And well, the reason that I got in here, I would say it's like this college is kind of special. It
Absolutely.
has like, yeah, it has like a lot of like stuffs about religion, beliefs, and also it always emphasizes about like moral values. And let's see, they also emphasize about practical skills. While like the goals for for this college is like answer to learn, go forth to serve, which is something that I really like, because like we're not here just to like learn for ourselves, but it's also important to contribute back to the society after we learn from college, and
Yes.
which is something that I really like. And I think in our life we may, it's either like we're focusing too much on others or we're focusing too much on ourselves. So
Hmm.
it's better for us to like strike a balance. And I think this college has like great example showing us about that. And yeah, I guess that's like the main reason that I enrolled to this school.
That's awesome. I really love how you brought that idea of, you know, it's not only about ourselves, but it's going back after we've learned our, you know, received our graduation certificate. We've got that brand new certificate, and now it's go forth and serve. So I think as well as has, okay, jump in again. So as well as learning, you're able to go back out there and serve others and really make an impact and change in other people's lives. So I think that's amazing. I really like that. I love that about BYU. So that's awesome. Thank you. What about, could you share some of the steps that you took to initiate the enrollment process? So for your studies at BYU.
Okay, well, it's actually more complicated than I thought. Like I thought, like when you just apply for it, you pay your tuition and work on visa, and that's good enough. But in fact, there are more things. I mean, there are way more things that you can. It's like going beyond your imagination. Well, like the first thing, it's like when you apply it, you actually have to. I mean, a lot of colleges do the same. They
Mm-hmm.
always ask you to like write essays about like why do you want to apply to this school and what are the things that you can contribute to the school, and also what some skills and talents that you have, something like that. I think it's also important to equip yourself and prepare yourself before you apply for the school, because it's like when you go apply, you will just realize like maybe I would say it's like a self awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You are more aware of yourself, like what are your strengths are and what are some weaknesses that you have, and you really have to like work on the things that you're not good at, and like continue to polish the things that you're good at. And that's like the first thing. And the whole process would be like, well, you have to also financially prepare. Well, I try to like relieve the burdens from my parents. I don't want them to pay everything, so I have to like work some. Like that time, I was like working a little bit just to get a little bit fun and like in the bank account. So whenever there's like a chance for, sometimes there's some censorship from the government, especially like the local government and the school. And if you like have like a strong financial background, and I think it's easy for you to get into the school because they
Okay,
will
yeah.
see you like you're really going to study. You're not going to like because government always think the way that they do censorship. It's like if you're not planning to like your purpose is not coming to work instead of to study. If you're suspicious on that, it's harder for you to get a visa.
Yeah.
And also, I would say mentally, you have to be prepared that you're gonna be independent from your family. I know homesick; it always happens,
Yes.
And what I did to prepare myself, it's like while working, it's really good and try to like I know it's like I think like when I serve my mission is actually like a good preparatory state.
Okay.
It helps me to become more independent. It's like you're living by your own
Hmm.
and you can't really rely on your family, but you have to figure a lot of like life issues on your own. So that's why I think these are the things that how I prepare to go into the process of enrolling to the school.
That's awesome. And I do love how you've used your mission as an example of preparing for your, I guess, for your life. It gives you a lot of different skills of being away from home as well as learning to make those adult decisions without your family or without your parents. So that's, yeah, that's awesome. Awesome example. I think you pretty much took the next question. So, what were the challenges and difficulties? And I know, so we had Jennifer yesterday, and she also talked about the restrictions of, being able to use Google or not being able to use Google to search for, Brigham Young University's website or how to contact. So, I think the challenges that you guys have from different countries of being able to access information to get over there to BYU. So I think what you guys have done to be able to even navigate the system to get in is amazing because you have that extra step that you have to do. So that in itself shows your determination, it shows how you can problem solve and find other ways. So awesome, well done. What about as an international student, what do you think has been the most challenging for you, being away from home? Or just being a student, international student, I guess.
Well, I think it always happens in this way. That it's always culture shock, and I would say to get used to it, it's rough. Well, let's say no matter how good the school is, no matter how good the people are, as an international student, I think there are times that people they are not think the same way as you do because they have like different cultural beliefs and they have different perceptions that you do. So I think it's always important to respect the own culture in that place instead of like asking people to get into your own culture. There are a lot of contradictions if you are trying to make people to get into your way instead of using their way because that's how they live.
Yes.
And that's the thing that you really, if you want people to accept you, you have to accept others first. And I guess you just have to, sometimes you just have to be less rigid about yourself. And I guess it's important to always embrace the things that you're not good at and the things that you never heard about. And by doing that, it's helping you actually making more new friends and explore more. I think it's always important to explore more. If you are trying to like, if you're trying to explore more from others, and you will actually gain whole a lot. I would say it's like a whole new experience for you. You find out the experiences that you have, and also you will find out what's something that matters to you the most, and also you will have more fun to doing that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for those examples because it's really important, I guess, at ValleyNoble to also understand the experiences that you go through to help us get a better understanding of how we can also help international students. So thanks again for those examples. And what about Esmond? As a student, were there any supports or people that you reached out for? When you did have those, times when you were like, I'm just struggling a little bit. What did you do during those times, or who did you reach out to?
Well, one thing I really like about the school, it's like there's actually counseling services over there,
Awesome.
and it's always good to like talk about maybe what you are struggling with in the counseling center. One thing really good about counseling center, it's like they don't really know you, and you don't really know them.
Yes.
Because like when you're in, I don't think it just apply in college when you are actually when you grow up, and people love gossiping all the time,
Hmm.
and if you go talk to counseling services, actually that can refrain the risk of like the word's gonna some rumors gonna spread out and gossiping. And well, besides that, I love talking. It's always important to, well, I would say to contacts with your family, even though it's like it's really that and I mean the advancement of technology enables us to contact our family from like miles away. We can always reach out to them. Well, of course, there are time differences, but you just
Hmm.
have to pay attention to time differences, and you can actually always call them. And I think because like no matter how far you guys live apart from, one thing that changes like your relationship with them. And I would say they in this world, your family always the one who supports you. And also, I love talking to my friends sometimes. Well,
Yeah.
when it comes to the things that maybe I can't really handle, and I really need somebody to help me, and friends would be a good one that you can talk with.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, friends. I think friends, what I noticed when I attended, and now friends become your family because they're your family away from home. So that's awesome. You build those lifelong friendships that they become an extension of your family. So yeah, that's awesome. What about what were the, I guess, what has motivated you throughout your academic journey? What's kept you going?
Well, I would say it's my ego, my goals and visions. When I felt discouraged, when I really don't want to give up, they're always like when I just focus back on my ego, or when I start imagining about my career prospect. And I think it's like telling me, you know what, maybe you're not doing well in the exam, but always remember what's your purpose. Sometimes
Awesome.
grades can stress you out, but instead of focusing on grades, always focus on the purpose why you're here. You come to study is to learn the knowledge. I think what life matters is like what you can capture from your experience instead of what the results are.
That's
So I
awesome. I
guess
love that.
that's motivates me.
That's great because I think a lot of us sometimes when we're in the thick of maybe challenges, or we're thinking this is a bit hard, I'm not too sure if I want to keep going. I think it is looking at that bigger purpose and having that end goal in sight. So that's awesome advice. And speaking of advice, what advice would you give to any future student that is coming to Brigham Young University, or who are going, especially for international students? What kind of advice would you give them heading out into their academic journeys?
Well, I would say, let's say if you study abroad to some places that is not your first language, always study the language there first. Otherwise, you will have a hard time to understand lectures and studying materials. So it's always important for you to study language. And I would say, second thing, it's like try to be more open up. What I really see from international students here, it's like sometimes they really love to grip with people that it's like this. They always grip the same birthplace, people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's not a bad thing, but it's always, I mean, if you study abroad, it's always like a good opportunity for you to expand your connections and also get to know more people from different places. It's a good chance. So just don't waste your time just to hang out with the people that you can know from back home, but always try to like get get to know more people from different places. And it's gonna be, I mean, your story is gonna be enriched if you can
Yes.
know more people, and it's gonna be more fun.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I totally agree. I think the part of the learning experience, especially at BYU Hawaii, is to be able to branch out and meet so many people. It's so rich with culture, diversity, different views, food, and so it's really, I think that's probably one of my biggest advice too, is to reach out and network because you have the choice of so many different countries. I think that was what surprised me. So yeah, that's awesome. Is there anything else that you'd give, any other advice that you'd give students venturing out?
If it's like academic wise, let's see. I guess it's just like it's always important to take a break. Don't always
Definitely.
just like keep working. You have to work hard and play hard. Cause I think we're not a machine, and it's always important to enjoy your life, especially in college. One thing that I always think of in the college is like once I graduate, and times will never go back. When you work as a full time, it's a lot different experience than you're studying than in college. College, I would say it's probably like the last minute for you to have fun. So don't forget to have fun,
Yes.
and especially if you study abroad, it's something that that's something cannot be exchanged. I know a lot of internationals, they may either like choose to go back to their home country or they might stay there. But like if you're in, I mean, even though you stayed there, it's just different than like you're studying. There are some lovely faces and like new faces that you can see every single day. But when you
Absolutely.
work, it's always the same faces. Either you like
Yes.
them or not, you still have to stay
See
there
your
and work with
face.
them.
Yes.
But
Yes.
like if you're in college, if you don't like someone, it's alright. You can move on and get to know another person.
There you go.
So treasure your time in the college and have fun.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, great advice because when you get out into the workplace, it is knuckle down and get your work done. But college, yes, is a great way to experience life, to learn about different experiences for yourself and to grow as a young adult as you are. So thank you so much for your insight and your advice. That will be. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Well, I guess that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, thank you. So definitely, it has been it's been great to meet with you and to meet with the rest of the team as well. And we still have a couple of interviews to go, but it's been amazing to hear your insight. I guess how you see your different learning experiences, your different challenges and obstacles that you faced. So thank you so much for sharing it and also for sharing your expertise with our team at ValleyNoble. So that's amazing. We really appreciate it. But everyone else out there, say a big hi to Esmond and thank him for jumping on these interviews with us. So thank you everyone for joining us today and our interviews at the Study Lounge with ValleyNoble. Again, I'm your host Sylvs or Sylvia Reihana, and this is us for today. And so we'll say a quick see you later to Esmond. See you later. Thank you, Esmond, and we'll catch up with you later. Thank you. Bye.